right, we're back. It's time to plow this here garden. I'm gonna put the first furrow in with the 1953 WD-45 wide front end tractor with model 73 Alice snap coupler plow with slat bottoms. This is kind of my pet plow tractor. I use this plow days a lot. It works good. I built that gauge wheel myself, and shortly thereafter I came into several factory ones, but I still have the homemade one on it. Anyway, that's the tractor. We're gonna, like I say, we're gonna put the first pass in with this, and then I'm gonna get the D15 out and hope that we can get it to plow. We tried that last year and it didn't work too good, so I'll bring you back when we're ready. Okay, here goes nothing. Well, that worked pretty good. I truly hope I can figure out how to edit some of the dead time out of these videos. Go have a look at that furrow. I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna go get the D15 and see how that goes. All right, we're back. This here is the D15. Ignore the Series 2 on the gas tank. It is a Series 1 tractor. About a 61, I'm gonna guess. I've got what amounts to a model 62 plow on this, 214s, I believe. If you look closely here, you'll see that that beam has been cut off. This used to be a 63 that somebody made a 62. Not a big deal. I'm just hoping that it will actually go in the ground and plow. My buddy Dan and I took this to Collins Plow Day last year, and it would, I had a different plow on it and it would not go in the ground. We had to give up. So we're gonna try it here and see what happens. So this could be frustrating, I don't know. We'll see how much of this even makes it. plow did actually go in the ground. The wear parts on that are not in very good shape. I'm surprised it's working as well as it is. You may have, I don't know if the camera caught me stopping at the north end of the garden each time to scrape off the moldboards. The only way to get them to really shine is to scrape them every time. That sucks getting on and off the tractor, but if you do that, they will eventually scour. We're going to take a little break here and go get the model 52 plow that would not go in the ground last year, and we're going to give that a try. And of course you won't notice that due to editing, but it's going to take me a while because I took the colders off of it and put them on this plow, so I'm going to have to find some different colders to put on it, yada yada yada. It's really dry. I have never seen this garden come up in chunks like this. It's kind of mind-boggling, actually. So anyway, back after a while, and we're back. Through the magic of not filming every single thing, you don't realize how long it took to get to this point. But anyway, I had to get this stupid thing off a hay rack. Had some issues with that, and then I had to throw a set of colders on it because I had robbed them off to put on that other plow. So this is a Model 52 snap coupler plow, probably designed more for a WD than a D series. I don't know. You can tell it's a 52 because it's got straight beams where the 62 are angled forward a little. You can see that. And this one is an original 2-bottom. It's not a 3 that's been cut down. So that's that. I'm gonna set you up and we'll try this. And right here is the plowman's best friend, the putty knife. exactly go according to plan. No big surprise. I think I went the wrong way with the beaming screw. I'm going to reestablish the furrow with the 45, and we'll adjust the beaming screw one more time and try it. If that doesn't work, I'm just going to finish plowing the garden with it. That's ultimate goal today, is to get the garden plowed and get things put away. So, once this thing warms back up a little bit, we'll try it again. All right, we had to take a little break there. Called a friend of mine that's been an old Alice man for many moons, and quiz him about which way we need to turn that beaming screw to get this silly thing to go in the ground. And I think I've tried it all the way both ways, and either way works very good. So I've got it as short as it'll go. I'm gonna try it one more time, and if that doesn't work, you will see the WD-45 finish this job, and we will be done plowing the garden for the year. Well, the last pass with the 15 was actually better. It went in the ground fairly well at the beginning. Then in the middle it kind of floated up, which those plows are kind of notorious for that, when the ground's really hard. And I like to plow the garden pretty deep, so I actually raised the gauge wheel way up on this. And I'm gonna, last year I got it went in 11 inches. I don't know what it'll do now. The ground's just super hard. Before I make the last pass, I'm gonna put the gauge wheel back down so that we don't have an 11-inch furrow to trip over all winter. Folks, that is some terribly hard dirt. I knew it was dry around here, but this is ridiculous. When that tractor struggles like that, it makes a hell of a statement. I'm gonna let this gauge tire back down and take the last pass, but wow. I guess this is as good a time as any to mention, I alternate north and south from one year to the next. Last year I plowed south, so this year you plow north. That keeps the dirt centered in the field and it doesn't all gravitate to one side. I don't know. Just something I do. And so ends garden plowing for 2024. Unless somebody calls and wants me to plow their garden. I'm completely cool with that.